4 people.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I'll
It's
die
not.
for those 4 people though. The 4 people who show up to watch us in this show,
Listen,
if they needed a murder, I wouldn't hesitate. Take them out. That's how much love I have.
it's not like I mean, your other channel, you got like 4,000 people watching you, but these four people matter more than those 4,000.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, if I decided to take those 4,000 people and say, let's talk about the things I want to talk about, it'll be 3 people there.
I mean,
it's all about what you talk about. We know that, right?
This is true. This is very true. Oh my God, my computer's blowing up. Let me close this bad boy. Happy to be here, man. I appreciate. I mean, happy Wednesday to you. Hope everybody's good. I got a couple questions for you today, unrelated to NFL talk, but I was getting into some NFL talk as well. But I'm happy to be here, man. How was your week?
Busy. Usually for me, the end of the summer, everyone's getting their little vacations in, so I'm dealing with dogs and also the YouTube stuff. So I've been pretty busy, but nothing too crazy, nothing too overwhelming.
Yeah.
I realized this about myself. You know that I'm a fan of the Mary Jane, right? I'm a fan of the marijuana, the sticky icky.
I'm aware.
Yeah, the grass.
Yes.
The broccoli. When the broccoli is heavy.
The ganja.
Ganja.
Ganja? Is that a thing? Yeah.
Yeah, ganja. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anyone that's not Jamaican say that or some white hippie person. Like the ganja is usually used. But I did realize something, that I partake less since moving compared to when I was doing it at my old apartment. And I realized that, and I guess it's really good to have that level of self-awareness when you realize that I was probably coping because I wasn't exactly happy where I used to live for many reasons. And also work was related to, because I didn't have my own dedicated space. I had to go to the basement. I had to do a lot of things. It's, pain in the neck. But I realized over the last couple months that, was I smoking because I enjoyed, or was it like the end of the night and I'm just so annoyed or upset or whatever it is? Like, I don't think I was in that kind of super negative place, but I knew I needed to move out. But I didn't realize that I probably was doing that because I had a long day and I needed to unwind. And I mean, I still do, but it's definitely not the same. I think I would say probably like a 75% reduction.
That's a big reduction, man.
Yeah. And that was like a social thing, like, hanging out with some people, or sometimes even still at, night, but it's not the same, which I find, the reason why I bring it up, because sometimes you don't notice things. Like, you should always keep like a I don't know, a checklist or a catalog of how you feeling and what you were doing recently, or if you had like a really good day, why you really had that good day. Maybe something you can replicate. But it just dawned on me about that. So I just threw that out there. But
listen, I appreciate you sharing that with us. That's some deep shit, and I think
no,
stupid. Get giggity with the animals over here.
No. And I mean, I still partake, obviously, but definitely not the same amount that I did in the past. Well, you want to enjoy stuff, but you don't want to go too crazy, obviously.
Yeah, right. Everything's in, too much of a good thing it can be bad, right? If you allow it to take over too many avenues of your life. But let me ask you a question. So, obviously, it seems like you're in a better place living wise. You feel more comfortable. You feel more complete. You got your own space. I think having your own space is super important, especially for somebody like you, when you're doing as much content as you're doing, as much research as you're doing, you're heavily invested in that niche that you're in on YouTube, right? So to have that, and are you busier with YouTube now than you were 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Or a year ago?
Yeah. It's definitely a job, which a lot of people may not be able to relate to, but it's a big difference between doing it for fun and doing it now that your bills are, I gotta pay these bills. So I gotta make this video about the same woman over and over again.
Yeah.
Now it's newsworthy. Like, there's, content creators, they can milk the shot of something.
Oh yeah.
But at least when I try to talk about it, it's something new. There's something actually that is happening because this woman is absolutely insane, and
She's crazy, man.
so it works for that. But you definitely need your own space, especially doing a creative shit or whatever you're trying to do. You need your own workspace and your own tools, and not have things impeding and interfering with that. So, but no, giggity, I did not turn to heroin. Never tried it.
That's heavy, giggity.
I mean, heroin. I mean, it may be fantastic. Like the first hit is probably the best hit you could possibly have.
Listen, I would not know. No, man.
That's what I heard. I never took heroin, but there's people addicted to it for a reason. If it was bad, no one would use it.
Let me ask you this: Do you think some people think marijuana is like a gateway drug? Do you think that it's a gateway drug? Or do you think it's just obvious or not? What do you say to that when you hear people say that?
Okay, I believe it is, or it can be, or most likely, because that's the first thing everyone uses, right? When you talk about drug addiction, not a lot of people jump straight to heroin. I don't think so. Usually, because if all those drugs, usually marijuana is the cheapest, and from watching too much prison documentaries in my life, usually when you heard someone talk about how they got there, were in a position, they'll say, you know what, I was smoking weed at 13, I was smoking weed at 11, I was smoking weed and whatever, you know what I mean? Like it seems that way, but I would say most of us are not going to crack though. Like I think a lot of people who like weed, it's pretty good. Like you don't need to go too crazy. I know some people want to do mushrooms and LSD and ayahuasca from the shamans.
Man, the ayahuasca. I don't know.
You should do it. You should do it.
No. What's that? No.
You visit a professional shaman. He guides you through this experience, and you may have a life change. You may go to the shaman, do the sit Indian styles, eat the plant or whatever the hell. I don't know, smoke it, and you may change your whole life. Like, you know what? I don't give a shit about this YouTube shit. I'm going to be a surfer or something. I'm going to
live off the lands and the mountains of the hills of Tennessee or something. Yeah, no, I could never. The only way honestly, bro, the only way I think I would try that is if it was like attached to some kind of like, if J-Lo or Halsey or like Margot Robbie was like
always the titties. So always the women with you.
Don't shake your head. I'm being honest with you. Then I'd be like, you know what? Give me that.
So a hot chick, a very attractive woman baiting you into heavy drugs is the way.
I'm a whore, basically.
You know what? Well, I think, and it's so sad that I know this, but when you're on YouTube and you're trying to research stories, things pop up that J-Lo, breaking news, guys, because I know you guys, this is the reason why you guys are here, all of you are here, that J-Lo divorced Ben Affleck after 2 years of marriage. You know how many times J-Lo has been married? What the fuck did I know this?
4, right?
5. So a woman or anyone being divorced 5 times, would you still holler if you was a single man? You think you'd be the one that changes it all, or you'll holler, but this is probably not a long-term thing?
I mean, I can have some fun. We could date, maybe. I'm not marrying a woman that's been married 5 times. I'll say that, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't partake. You know what I mean? But 5 times, she's got something going on. Either it's weird.
I don't think it's just a victim. Like I feel like 5 times as a normal person, like me and you, in our world of normal people, that's a bit much. But I feel like for celebrities, being married multiple times isn't that big a deal. What do you think? You think it's a difference or is it the same?
I think it's the same. I think there's a lot of regular folk that's been married a few times. I think it's an underlying issue of something else. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of failure. I mean, that's a lot of L's, man. I mean, that's not normal for anybody, celebrity or not. It's just not.
All right, get 3. You should get 3. And then you're no longer like if you were the president, you're like, listen, you have 3 chances to get married, 3 opportunities.
What happens after the 3rd? You go to jail or something?
I have no idea. You can't. They don't accept your application.
You gotta go to Russia. You gotta go to Russia for the rest of your life.
No. Maybe a class or something like that. Like, stop wasting our time. You're wasting your time filling out all this paperwork. Well, I don't know. I mean, of course they'll never do that. But I'm just wondering, like, what is if you're a single guy? how many times is too many times for you? So let's say, for instance, she's been divorced twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I'm fine with that. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a one-time divorcee. Is that what they call it? I've been divorced one time. I've been married, right? Hannibal, obviously, you're married, never been divorced. Hannibal will probably never.
Not yet.
You got to figure it out. Yeah, you got to figure it out.
Not yet.
Me, I mean, me and my girl, we'll get married at some point here. I mean, and hopefully that's it for me. But, you know, things happen. People do change. I think, you know, but I wouldn't hold 2 against somebody, but 5, man, nah.
How about
5,
3?
5's a red flag. 5's a red flag.
I gotta send a message to Cheeky. He wants me to go to Florida to shoot the range in Naples, Florida. Maybe Pedro will come through. Right? All right, so Pedro's not coming. Oh, yeah. Listen, guys, this is political Pedro right now. Now, listen, he may be an agent for Kamala Harris. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible.
I am not a
he may be a social influencer agent for the Kamala Harris party to win.
Have you been hearing? So let me ask you. You've been hearing about how people are getting paid. Like, that's a real thing. You think that's happening?
Oh yeah, probably, definitely.
Really? For both sides?
The bots, all the bots. Yeah, I'm definitely sure that.
Yeah.
From what even this little bullshit situation with Hinyard, I realized there's so many. I guess the word call it agents that to spread information, and this is a very small town. But imagine that times a million.
That makes sense
For the presidential campaign and trying to get people to go along with whatever narrative that is going on. So definitely.
I think they get desperate. I think politicians obviously get desperate. There's so much money. These guys are bankrolled by corporations and funding from regular people or what. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think it's interesting. The DNC's been interesting. I've watched a little bit of it. It's in Chicago. That's where I was born. It's interesting that it's there. Not surprised. I mean, Obama and Michelle come out and everybody loves, not everybody, but people love them. And they got all these celebrities. It's weird.
Giggity may start freaking out on you. You know, he's a conservative, through and through.
I'm
Don't
sure.
mess with Giggity.
As long as he's not
come in and say his nasty, really funny comments anymore.
Yeah, as long as Giggy's ain't got the red hat on, we good, bro. But if you start rocking,
we should dive into that because political Pedro do not like the MAGA movement at all. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Someone cut a MAGA guy, cut him off while he's delivering food or something. Or
that's happened. I've been inappropriately grown.
Have you been threatened? Have you ever dealt with someone and like real I haven't.
Never. No.
Yeah.
No, I just like to poke fun of them. It's fun to watch the videos and they're just kind of funny. So I just I ride with that wave. But what up, guys? What up? How you guys doing? No, I'm just like the MAGAs. It's weird, but the left is weird too. They're both equally weird for different reasons. But the DNC is interesting. They got Little John. I don't know if you saw it. Little John come out. He's singing his song. It's kind of like a clown show. It's ridiculous.
I understand you bring celebrities and influencers and man, like I saw Steve Kerr up there. I'm like, Steve.
Yeah, he was doing.
Come on, bro. Like, damn. But he's out there and he was the San Fran, right? Golden State.
Yeah.
Pop it's interesting because Dana White. I love the UFC. I love MMA. He's on the Trump side. I see Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off.
That's crazy.
But that's the interesting thing about Trump. Trump was the influencer. He was the famous guy that some politicians would ask to come through and say something. Now he's become the politician.
Yeah.
And now it's that reality, but whatever. I mean, Reagan was an actor. It is what it is.
He was. I think all these guys are actors, man. I think they're all clowns in their own.
Yeah. Cheeky Chop says F all Democrats. So that's
that's a harsh. What up, Pia? What up, Ms. Brady? Listen,
I've seen what you say about some of the MAGA guys. Like, listen. Political, I'm all here for political Pedro. He's checking out DNC, the conference going on there. I mean, it's a couple of months for the election. Maybe we have an election special.
We should.
And we'll see which.
Are you still leaning? You think Trump's going to win? Is that where you're leaning? I feel like when we talked about it about a month ago, that's kind of where you were at.
Well, when he got shot, I thought Biden was a win. But if Biden stayed, Trump is going to win.
100%.
Kamala is a problem, and he needs to understand is a problem. It's not you're not going to blow her out. Kamala
y'all crazy with the camera. I don't know where that comes from, but it's funny.
That's fucking hilarious. The machine is behind her. She's younger.
Yeah.
She's a minority.
Yeah.
They need to take it seriously. It can't just be the attacks that what's that guy used to call it? Ad hominem attacks every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He has to go after policy, because that's what it is. Kamala is going to say, I have all these plans. And then Trump should say, well, if you had all these plans, you've been here. What happened? Are you saying that Biden made a mistake? Is highly unlikely she's going to say that, because she's a part of the ticket. Like, following that, try to get the independence, because that's how all these elections are going to be won. Independence in Pennsylvania, Florida, like all those purple places, because
Ohio and
me here in New York, it is a waste of time for me to vote. At least there's other stuff to vote for. It's blue no matter what.
Blue there. Missouri's very
California.
Red. Yeah, Missouri's red. So it's going to be interesting. I find it funny. In a very sad way, though. I just think the political climate that we're in, it's always been kind of weird. I don't want to have too much of a recency bias, but now I think it's been weirder as the years have gone. With Trump stepping in, and now you got this Kamala. It's Kamala, right? Yeah, Kamala. It's just weird. Biden, Sleepy Joe. I mean, it's been strange. And
get out of New York when you can. I'm sorry, Cheeks. Get out. I can't.
He can't. He's stuck, bro.
My chick works for the city, and I have dogs, but I could leave. But then she like, where you going? And it'd be a whole thing.
Well, we're talking.
I'll be at Pedro's house.
It'd be a whole thing. I mean, I got a room for you, but you ain't gonna like it here, bro. Come on, listen.
It's gonna be interesting. So you probably have watched more stuff than I have in the last, I don't know, probably a month or so. I stopped during the midterms. I realized I'm spending way too much time listening to the same pundits, even sometimes online, the same people. And the problem is, they promise when they talk to you, especially, or at least they talk to me when they talk to the audience. Watching Ben Shapiro, the Matt Walsh's, telling me there's going to be this great red wave.
Yeah,
all this crazy shit is happening on the left, and I agree. Some of it is outrageous. And the people have spoken, and they were, all the polls of how it's going to, the Republicans going to dominate and fix all this stuff up, and that shit didn't happen.
No. And
I was like, really? It's a little obviously frustrating. I realized I'm just wasting a lot of time. I mean, I vote. I've continued to vote basically since was it 2008, 2016. Voting. I'm going to vote for someone who represents my interests. Yes, I may not like them personally, but who's the most likable candidate we have here?
Likable?
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are likable.
No, they're not. Both are. You consider people love, either you love or hate them. I think that's for Donald Trump. I don't think people like Kamala, but if you hate Trump so much, you will go with Kamala. I don't know if a lot of people like her. I think it gives me the Hillary Clinton like that fake pantsuiting. You can't believe anything they say. They'll say whatever it is that you want. If they know if they can say something that they will like or I will like for them to do, they will say it. Whatever it is. At least Trump will tell you what he doesn't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like that about him. And I think this is my stance, and I've been saying it for a couple of months. I think these two parties that we have, and it's the issue that we have a two-party system, I believe that. I think these people are more similar than they are not similar. I really, truly believe that. And I also think the people that like Trump or the people that like Kamala, they like him for the very similar reasons. A lot of people like Trump because of what he says, how he looks, how he carries himself, and he panders to people's emotions, and they're scared, and it's a very scare tactic way of doing politics, in my opinion. Kamala does the same thing. I think people like her because she's an Indian black woman, and they're automatically going to vote for her for that, and that's wrong, in my opinion. You can't vote for somebody based on race, but there's a lot of people that will do that. I think people are going to vote for Trump for other reasons that are similar. That's not right either. So I think we're just kind of stuck in this really weird wave of emotion and ideas, and it's kind of comical in a bit, but it's also sad in my book.
Pia says she likes Waltz. That's the
Yeah,
vice presidents don't matter, at least to me. They don't do it. Then they're there in case something happens. But it's gonna be fascinating. Would I watch a whole bunch of it? Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't. The NFL season is coming up. I want to make some money. I know, and let's get this out of the way because Pedro was harassing me earlier with a voice message threats. Talking about is the Giants, are they still in the NFL? Very funny, painful. But yes, the Giants are not going to do well.
Fair question.
Hopefully they just get to 500.
You think that's realistic with the roster they got?
No.
They're in a tough division. The Cowboys are good. The Eagles are good. Going
500 isn't good.
No. Redskins, who's a better team, the Redskins or the Giants right now? I don't know. That's pretty close, probably.
It's pretty close. I think I'd rather have the Commanders quarterback than ours. So, tough. Our division is so fucking good and so annoying. So, we're not winning Eagles. None of the Eagle games. We don't beat the Cowboys at all. Eagles is kind of a maybe, but then they're so good. And they picked up our running back.
Yeah, that sucks.
And he's going to beat the shit out of the team because they didn't want to pay him.
I don't even know who the Giants running back is.
Doesn't matter. Daniel Jones going to be running for his life.
He's going to lead the team in rushing.
He may be the fastest guy on the team, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
That's not good. But the Bears, the Bears, I don't know if you know this, they're the team that's part of the Hard Knock Life, I think.
How'd you watch it? Or is it started? It didn't start yet, right?
Yeah. No. There's 2 or 3 episodes out. I've watched 1 episode. I know there's a second one I haven't seen, and I think a third one might have came out just this weekend. Yeah. The first one I watched was okay. A lot of Caleb Williams, and they talked about we have the husband of Simone Biles. He was a Packer.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah.
But they talked about him going to France and all.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. So So I don't know what to expect from the Bears. I think there's a lot of hype. Williams has looked pretty good. He's made a couple of nice plays. He looks poised in the pocket. But it's still the Bears. I don't know. I think a lot of people have them being at about 500 or maybe 1 game above 500. 7, 9 wins is kind of the range. For me, if we win 7 or 8 games, that's what we did last year. So that's not an upgrade. That's not good, right? So it's going to be interesting. I think top heavy. I think there's 5 teams, 6 teams that are right at the top. Those are your contenders for a Super Bowl, and I think everybody else is below that. So I think there's not a lot of parity in this coming up season.
All right. So the only thing that I saw was a positive the entire preseason with the Giants, because Daniel Jones has been not good. He's throwing interceptions on preseason, which means he has regressed. So everyone's throwing out the funny jokes. Oh, money well spent. He won a playoff game. You're gonna if your quarterback wins a playoff game and it's contract season or contract time, you're going to give him a contract. And he didn't get highest paid, and he didn't get anything. He got the $100 million. Okay, don't know how much is guaranteed, but it wasn't a terrible contract.
No,
still 20. He shouldn't be getting 20 million, but everyone gets 20 million. I don't know. We don't understand. I don't understand numbers anymore.
The money's crazy. Even in NFL, talk about it with the NBA, but to your point, the money. Your top guys, your top NFL quarterbacks are getting 50 million plus. 50 million plus, your top guys. And then your serviceable guys are getting 25 to 30 million. And that's what
I think that's what Daniel Jones. I think he's getting around 20. But I don't know if you saw this clip of rookie DT Elijah Chapman run down this running back. No, and this dude is 278. Let me see if I can show it. Actually, got this whole new thing going on. So give me a second. Let me see where is it? Should I put it in a browser?
Well, Hannibal's looking for that. For all of my Arizona fans, all my Arizona tea, the Arizona Tea Company, Hannibal, you probably drinking some Arizona tea.
Oh yeah, big fan.
I don't know if y'all know
back in the day.
Now they got these bad boys.
What's that?
Alcohol, Arizona alcohol.
Oh, I haven't tried that. So
pretty good.
Tell me what you think. Like, is it too sweet? Does it work?
It's pretty sweet.
See your face now.
It's pretty sweet, but it's not bad.
Oh, nice.
If you're Arizona, these aren't 99 cents, but it's still good.
Oh, so yeah, let me show. Oh, I got the whole thing all messed up. Let me get my big face out of here. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So you can see this really big man chase down this running back.
That's crazy.
That is not human. That's a terrible running back, but goddamn it, he's 278.
No, that
you see he turns up the jet. Like, he actually starts running faster to catch this dude. That's our rookie right there. So at least that's one positive thing.
Listen, that you want to see that from a rookie. That's great.
Yeah, all the comments were like, pay that man. He's on, get him a job. He earned his spot. I'm sure you already had it, but you see something like that, it gives me a little hope.
Listen, your best player is a rookie defensive tackle. I mean, all right.
I saw some other clips of him, but that was nice. That's a big man. Big men shouldn't be running that fast, being that huge. It's a fucking bear.
That to be that big, to run that quick. I mean, that's nuts, man. Y'all got that receiver, Neighbors. He's good. He should be good. Malik Neighbors. I believe he's out of LSU. If Daniel Jones can throw the ball, he's got somebody to throw it to. And it's been a little minute since you guys had a good wide receiver, so he's promising. He's promising.
So, do you think the Giants will be a 500 team or below?
Below. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're in the division is too strong.
Division strong, but
that's the problem.
The Packers are going to be good. The Minnesota Vikings, they lost their quarterback, JJ McCarthy. They drafted a rookie, and he's out for the year. He tore ACL, MCL, or something, so he's out. So that sucks for the Vikings. And then the Lions are good. So the Bears are in a similar situation as the Giants. We're in a good division, so it's going to be.
Are you worried about the Packers though?
They almost went to the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they're a good team.
Yeah. But I felt like you weren't like a big Jordan. Like you weren't like that was your dude. Like, it's not your dude. It's the Packers, but you didn't have no threat over him.
But he played well in the playoffs, and I'm a hater, so that's why.
You just hate. Okay.
I don't like Love because he's good, and the Packers have had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now we got to deal with Jordan Love. So a little bit of hate, but the Lions are good. They went to the NFC Championship, right? So the Bears got a lot of teams in the division that. 2 teams that were in the playoffs, 2 teams that were really good. Got the Lions going to the Super Bowl, so the Bears got an uphill battle too. So,
the Washington Commanders' biggest fan, Nova Hustles, in the house. Appreciate him. So you know what's nuts? Paying Daniel Jones $160 million for 4 years when he had a playoff win. What are we gonna do? You gotta pay him. He's Vanilla Vic. When he's not falling, he's really fast.
Bro,
I think that was the end of Daniel Jones' career. Him falling.
That was like 3 years ago.
Dude, has it got any better since then?
It hasn't. So he reached his peak. His Daniel Jones' peak is him running almost 80 yards for a touchdown, but instead falling. That is his highlight. That's his career. That's not good.
Maybe he tripped. Maybe someone hit his foot as we didn't mean. It felt like it looked like he just fell on his own. But maybe I don't know. Go watch the film again.
That boy fell on his own, and he's fine. The rookie defensive lineman we just saw moved better than Daniel Jones.
Dude, that's him. I mean, I hope that. I mean, that motor. That's gonna at least be something to watch and be has some kind of highlights. This guy chasing people around, and that was very impressive. I like that a lot. Made me feel better because I don't think we're gonna be at 500. I think it's gonna be below. Don't know if it's gonna be like one of the worst teams type of thing, but
probably not.
Bad spot. And now we have to realize, okay, do we go for quarterback? Is this the guy? Daniel Jones did not show anything in his preseason to to alleviate any of our fears. And he in New York City, in New York, people start complaining and bitching every Sunday.
Yep.
And I think the coach is safe because that's not his guy. So it is what it is. But I know everyone talks about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles, the 49ers, Bills. Well, tell me some sleeper teams because, Pedro is also, he's our political expert, but he's also an NFL expert.
Wow. So, this is really going to go downhill if that's the case. If I'm the political expert and NFL expert, we have no chance.
You wear a lot of hats. I mean, you're wearing a hat right now.
I wear
so tell me what's some sleeper teams? Who's gonna come out of nowhere? Is it gonna be like the Giants or like the fucking what?
Shout out to Josh. What's up? Nova Hustle's the commander. Listen, no. Listen.
Did he just type that in as I was talking, or he really said he thinks the commander is gonna be a sleeper hit?
I like this one from Josh. Colts. I can see that. I'm gonna give you guys a few. Okay. One of them, I'll start with one that's not really a sleeper, but I don't think people are talking about him enough. The Los Angeles Rams. They lost Aaron Donald, first ballot Hall of Fame, the best defensive tackle in the history of NFL, not on the Rams, but a healthy Matthew Stafford, two really good wide receivers, a third wide receiver, a good running game, a really good coach, a good scheme, still a solid defense. The Rams could surprise some teams. I think the Colts is a good one as well. I think the Ravens are kind of a flashy pick. That's not somebody that's not necessarily a sleeper.
Nova says Lions, but that's not a sleeper either, right?
No, Lions are not a sleeper. They're probably 4 or 5 on the power rankings going into the year to make the Super Bowl. I think the Colts is a good one. The Atlanta Falcons. If Kirk Cousins has a little bit of a resurgence, if he can stay healthy, they're loaded on offense, and they picked up 3 defensive players from free agency that are all Pro Bowlers. The Atlanta Falcons, I would probably be my number one sleeper along with the Los Angeles Rams. Those are the 2 teams that I think could really – they got seasoned veteran quarterbacks, which I think you need in today's NFL. You need good quarterback play. And they got offensive juggernauts all over the field. And both teams have good defenses as well. So I think those are the 2 teams I would kind of think about. The Chiefs, the Lions, the Bengals. Joe Burrow's coming back. Can't forget about them. Mm-hmm. And the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to be the favorites overall. 49ers are always going to be there, but I don't think Brock Purdy's the guy that's going to win the championship. So I think the 49ers will be good. They could win 12, 13 games, but Brock Purdy's not going to be the guy to win a chip. But yeah, Colts. I like the Colts one as well because they.
Okay, so I see. Bobby agrees. Chicky says you should play defensive end for the Bears. What's the average weight for a defensive end?
Listen, if somebody hit me on the football field, I'd be in the hospital for a week. Okay, so yeah definitely not playing football.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
All right. You didn't say the Browns. Mm-hmm. Now, the Browns were a pretty good team without the man that got in trouble for massaging or being a total creep with all those women.
Yeah.
If Deshaun Watson can be how he was with the Texans, with that team that Joe Flacco took him to the playoffs.
Yeah.
When you think that the Browns could do something? I mean, they still got who else they have on that team? They still got Nick Chubb. They still got Myles Garrett.
Yep. They got him.
Will the Browns, would Deshaun Watson play well and we forget how much of a effing creep he is and do something? What do you think?
It's the Browns. No. It's the same. I put the Browns in a similar situation as the Lions. The Lions are better than the Browns, in my opinion. But it's the Lions and the Browns aren't teams I think are ever going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, it's not going to happen. So I think the Browns have a lot of names, and I think they got a really good defense. I think if anything, the Steelers, depending on the quarterback play, they've got a really good roster, one of the best coaches. That could be kind of a sleeper team. That AFC North, they got 4 teams that can make the playoffs. If any of those 4 teams or 3 of the 4 made it, I don't think we'd be surprised. The AFC North is usually pretty loaded with the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
Yeah.
But Deshaun Watson, I don't know, man. I think he's too far.
Before this weird stuff, he was really good. I mean, he was winning games by himself. In attack, like at least what I was seeing, like he was a leading, like he was clutch, And then he did that weird stuff.
Yeah.
And he went to the Browns and been playing really average. I don't know. Maybe all the stuff that he did is catching up to him and karma and being a gross individual. But at one point, he was damn near good. So you don't think he can get back to that level?
I mean, I think he could. But I just, it's the Browns, man.
Just going by history, just history of vibe.
Organizations sometimes don't get out of their own way. I think the Lions are like that as well. You mentioned the Texans. CJ Stroud, I mean, he's in year 2. He
really good. Good coach.
They add Stephon Diggs. They got a really good coach. They got a second-year Will Anderson on the defensive end as a linebacker. I mean, they're young, and they got a sprinkle of veterans. I mean, the Texans could make some noise too. Yeah.
The Steelers will be dog shit. Their defense will outscore the offense.
The Steelers are always that team that's kind of like right at that 500.
I feel like they're just 50, always 50. They're 500, and then they're always above 500.
Always. I feel like,
Mike Tomlin ain't going nowhere.
No.
And until they get a quarterback, they need a quarterback. I mean, everyone says that. Like, you need you're not going to win an NFL championship. You're not going to win the Super Bowl without a above average quarterback. You have to have a quarterback in that least top third of the league, or you're just not going to have a chance unless you're that Kirk Cousins guy that just been finessing the league for the last couple of years.
Scoffed when I said Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. You kind of scoffed. I saw that little smirk you had when I said it.
We've all seen what Kirk Cousins
You're right.
When it's really important. Regular game, and that's why I think I'm gonna try to get back into the betting thing. I want to hit a really good hit. I want to do I think Nova Hustles. He'll put $10 with like the most crazy parlay. But if you hit it, he'll win like $2 million. I want to hit one of these things this season. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm like, listen,
you trying to put a bet
Patrick Mahomes is gonna throw 3 picks, playing the Dolphins. I'm just gonna do like a bunch of weird shit, and if it hits, I'm retired. I'm done with this shit. I'm out of here.
Don't do a parlay. Parlays are hard to win. But okay, so if you had to put money right now on a futures, I think that's what they call them, right? Nova futures. Like before the season even starts, who's going to win? And you put some money down, and usually the odds are better before the season because things happen, players get hurt,
right.
Unexpected teams go on a run. It could be the fucking Carolina Panthers, or somebody said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, right? They win the first 8 games, like, oh my God, And then So if you had to put $100 down on a team to win, who are you picking?
Win the whole thing?
Yeah.
But see, I'm probably going to go with the favorites because I'm putting $100 down. I don't want to waste my money.
Okay, but if you put $100 for the Chiefs, you're only going to win like $20.
Exactly.
Okay.
But at least I know that it's a good chance of winning. You want good odds. If you win, you make some money.
Right.
You have to kind of go with not necessarily you need a sleeper pick. Like, what's your sleeper pick? You didn't mention, or we didn't talk about the Dolphins.
No.
Dynamic offense. You got the track stars.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey's on the team now. No.
Tua is not winning the Super Bowl. Nah.
So all right. So I actually have a clip that I want to show you. I don't know if you saw this though.
Hold up. You'd win $750 if you bet 100 on the Chiefs to really? Damn. What? Are you sure about that? Where are you getting that information? That's crazy.
Where? Which one?
Yeah.
FanDuel. But also, what's the chances of the Chiefs repeating?
I mean, that's the thing.
Or do you think? Or I don't know if you put your pick out yet, but is the Chiefs one of them to go to Super Bowl?
Chiefs are the favorite. There's plus 650. Yeah, so if they're plus 650, hold up. Really? Hold up.
Nova Hustle said put 100 as Commanders, you get 12.
That's not happening.
Damn, how much money you would make?
I mean, Chiefs are okay. The way I look at it is, it's going to be hard for them to. They've been very healthy the last couple of years, actually, that they've won. They've won 2 back-to-back Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. They lose Tyreek Hill. This last year, their wide receivers were trash. They did not have a clear number 1. And in my opinion, they still don't. have a clear number one receiver, but they added the speed with Xavier Worthy, and then they're gonna have the second year guy. I think his last name's Rice. I can't remember. He should be better, but and they got Kelsey. You know, he's a third down guy, touchdown machine. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. It's not even close. The drop between Mahomes and everybody else, in my opinion, is very steep. It's very steep, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Chiefs are definitely the clear-cut favorite. They got a great defense still. They got the best coach right now, in my opinion. Just the best coach in the NFL is Andy Reid. They got a good defensive coach, Steve Spagnuolo, ex-Giants defensive coordinator, right? Help you guys win a Super Bowl. So the Chiefs are loaded, but it's going to be hard for them to stay healthy, three-peat, a lot of eyes on them. It's going to be difficult, but I mean, if I put 100 down, you're telling me I win 750. That's $100 I'm willing to lose because I think they're the odds.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah,
but it's just like it's really hard for a team to be dominant for NFL is just it doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they can get the Super Bowl hangover, the whole Taylor Swift nonsense, all that attention. Eventually, it could wear you down. So I'm thinking, I feel like the champion probably will still come out of the AFC. I think the Bengals. If Joe Burrow can stay healthy,
they got
Jamal. Oh shit, Jamal Chase might not play. If they figure that out and sign this guy because he's pulling the Le'Veon Bell shit.
I didn't know that. That's
the guy he ain't playing. And he has a contract. I guess he wants more money. It's a Le'Veon Bell. Who else does that? Where they just don't play?
A lot of them do.
There's
a guy from Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers is doing the same thing. He showed up in street clothes to practices. I don't think he's even practiced yet. So
yes. So all right, never mind. Maybe I should take that back about the Bengals. Josh says Bengals times has passed.
I don't know.
He's still a young quarterback. I don't know. And when he's not hurt, he's pretty good. When you have that kind of that X factor, I can't say it's over.
I mean, it could be the 49ers time. I mean, I talked about Brock Purdy not being that guy. They've been on the doorstep of winning a championship for the last 4 years or so, right? So they're low. The 49ers are the most balanced team. They got the most Pro Bowlers. They're loaded on every main position you need, whether it's offensive line, defensive line, linebackers with Fred Warner. They got the best running back in the National Football League, right? They got good receivers. They got a good coach. They got a good tight end. They've got good corners, a good safety. They're loaded on every level on both.
Except quarterback.
But the quarterback is so if you had
Kirk Cousins, if Kirk Cousins was on that team, he would still find a way to lose. But if Kirk Cousins is on that team, that's a Super Bowl team.
If Kirk Cousins is on that team,
just dink and dunk, right?
If you're a Brock Purdy fanboy, you might not like this. If Kirk Cousins is on that team, you're closer to a Super Bowl than if you have Brock Purdy. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
would say favorite. I'm not even as much as I do not like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
There's so many playmakers, and then you don't have to do too much. I feel like sometimes I think when I've seen Kirk Cousins crumble under pressure, and he had good teams, but if you have that kind of team, you don't have to do too much.
Look at this one.
Come on, bro. Make the playoffs.
No, but listen, I'll say this. When you got a quarterback like that, and we've seen in recent history rookie quarterbacks come in and be good. We saw it last year with CJ Stroud. We did not expect CJ Stroud to do what he did, right? Nobody really saw that coming, right? He was transcendent, winning games at the end and fourth quarters. So that Daniels guy could do a lot with his legs, and he's got a cannon. It could be interesting. They got a new coach, right? The Commanders got a new coach. Rivera's gone. So, things. I'm not going to be surprised if they make the playoffs, but I wouldn't put $100 on it. No way.
So, where would you put your $100?
I mean, if I'm going to win $750, I'd put it on the Chiefs. And then if I was going to bet another 100, I'd probably.
What's the Eagles?
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it on them. Their defense was better. 2 years ago. Last year was really bad, like really bad. The year before they got a quarterback that I think they led the league in sacks, but last year
Nova's gonna put 200.
I hate to say it as a Bears fan, the Lions, I don't think they win, but they're definitely going to be in the playoffs, and I can see them going to the Super Bowl. I would not be surprised if it's Lions and Chiefs. I think that's about what we almost had last year. The Lions kind of screwed themselves in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if those are the two front runners, in my opinion. But
yeah, I'm trying to figure out something out of the ordinary. Like I just feel like we just, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You go for what's already been established, and I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna say the Chiefs. The Chiefs. No, I can't even say that. I'll be bullshitting.
Yeah,
I'll be bullshitting. Yeah, I mean, the AFC is difficult, right? You still got the Bills. I don't know. People think the Bills will just never get to that point. It looks like like what you're saying, like the vibe, the aura. The Bills is never going to ever get to that hump and win that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they still have a great team. The Eagles, they really played really bad towards the end. Like, they're just losing a lot of games.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the Colts. Some people mentioned the Buccaneers. Those are good. Those are solid. The Rams, I think I mentioned the Rams. They came on the Rams. They won a Super Bowl just a couple years ago. So they, I think Sean McVay's a little underrated, if anything else. And Matthew Stafford, when he's healthy, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And I think he still has maybe a little bit of chip on his shoulder. People don't talk about him, and he's a Super Bowl champion. So I can see the Rams making some moves. I really could.
Yeah. I actually wanted to show you this video from the Miami quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Viola. That's not how you pronounce it. Talking about his past coach, Brian Flores. And remember, I don't know if you remember about all of the allegations that Flores put out, I guess, to tank on purpose. It was a bunch of stuff. I forgot all about it. I think is Brian Flores still a coaching staff with the Steelers? I think maybe he still is.
No. He's with our boy Nova with the Redskins. I think he's the defensive coordinator, right, Nova?
Oh, okay, cool. So this came out. Let me see. Did I download it? All right, hopefully, hold on. Let me play the video before I just put it up, because then you're like, "What is this?"
He's with the Vikings, defensive coordinator.
Oh, Vikings. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't put that kind of videos on my computer, but you never know.
Yeah, don't put the porn. Don't put it. Ruby Red.
Explain to us the difference.
Okay, so they're talking about Brian Flores, and I want to get your perspective on this to see if you agree with Tua, or because this is pretty. Usually, you don't hear players, at least quarterbacks, talk about their past coaches. It's kind of similar to, you don't talk about your past employees in a negative light, because it hurts your future prospects sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But Tua, I guess he was honest. So let me know what you think.
Can you explain to us the difference?
Why it's so low? Hold on a second.
Is that Dan Levitar? Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's old as shit.
He's from.
No, we all getting old talking shit. All right, let me know if you could hear it in a decent volume.
Can you explain to us the difference in practical terms between having a coach who did believe in you the way that he did, and the difference between that and what was happening with Flores?
Yeah. Well, to put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad, and you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself. And so that's sort of like what ended up happening. And it was, I mean, it's basically been 2 years of training that out of not just me, but a couple of the guys as well that have been here since my rookie year all the way till now.
Okay. I already put the comment from Nova Hustle. So I've heard a lot of different responses. First, saying Tua is soft and he's sensitive, and Brian Flores was correct in certain aspects. I've heard the other aspect of is people who come from the Bill Belichick tree. They try to act like him. Because I've seen a few, especially if you ever watch, damn, I forgot the guy's name. He has a podcast now. It's super funny. White running back, not running back, wide receiver. That Tom Brady always threw the ball to. Not always in the coverage, not the wide out, but like
Julian Edelman.
Yeah. Hilarious. Like anytime you see him interviewing, and he has the perfect Bill Belichick impression. All Belichick talks about is how these people are trash. This guy sucks. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like that kind of. But Bill Belichick is a NFL genius. Been in the game decades, 40 years. He's forgot more about football than any of us do. He could get away with that. But I feel like people who learned under him think that you could talk to everyone the same way. So tell me your thoughts in terms of coaching. Do you think Brian was wrong? Do you think Tua was soft? Like, what's your thoughts when you see that clip?
Tua does come off as a little soft. I think when he came into the league, too, he wasn't like as good as he is now. Took him a little time. He was hurt, injury prone. Didn't have Tyreek Hill that first year, I don't think, right? So a lot of things there. But it's hard to say because you don't know the context of like, was Brian Flores, Tua just called him a terrible person. Like that's a strong thing to say.
Or at least like abusive, maybe,
yeah.
Right?
Maybe, do I think an NFL coach should tell their starting quarterback they're not good enough? No, I think that's a bad coach. I think there's other ways to coach and not use that. I think you have to know the room that you're in. And if you got a Tua, that's different than having a Tom Brady. Tom Brady would get dogged in the beginning of his career by Belichick. And even Belichick would hold Tom Brady accountable when Tom Brady was a Super Bowl winning MVP. And he'd use him as an example, but that fueled Tom Brady because Tom Brady's built different than probably Tua is, right? So I think you have to understand, a coach and a quarterback have got to be in sync. And if Brian's talking to his starting quarterback, a rookie quarterback or second year, whatever he was at the time, right? Probably a rookie, telling him he's not supposed to be here, I think, or we should have had somebody else.
I think Brian wanted. Didn't the Dolphins wanted Tom Brady? I think it was around that time, and then Tom went to the Buccaneers, so he made legit like you don't belong here. We should have had Tom Brady come through.
Yeah, and Brian Flores might have been thinking, "Hey, I'm on a lot of fire." That might have been
right.
And sometimes you roll the dice as a coach. Sometimes you roll the dice. Sometimes you look at a kid, you look at a quarterback or whatever, and say, and you give them really tough coaching. And it can work for some people because they need that. Other times it deflates them. It's like, oh, he doesn't believe in me. He doesn't believe in me. I'm not, it demotivates them. So that's the risk you take as far as coaching, and especially at that level, I'm sure. But I don't know. I think Tua is definitely somebody probably I wouldn't talk to like that. He doesn't seem like he's a Tom Brady. Who else would I consider like that? Like a Lamar Jackson type. Probably even a Mahomes. I think
sensitive. You think he's sensitive?
I think he's a little more sensitive than those kind of guys. I don't think as a coach in the NFL though, and as a rookie coach, and you've got a young quarterback, that's probably not the way you want to talk, and that's probably why Brian isn't there anymore. And that might be a reason we saw success with Mike McDaniels and Tua because Mike used a different approach. Hey, you're my guy. I'm going to build you up. I don't want to break you down. There are people you can break down and they can build themselves up. Tua obviously is not that guy. So if anything, it looks like Mike McDaniels is getting something more out of Tua, and Brian Flores wasn't able to get that.
Obviously, and also putting track stars as your wide receivers that you just you don't have the strongest arm, but you throw the ball to Tyreek, he's going to go to this get a touchdown. I think, and I see Nova Hustle said basically Flores should have held to his hand.
Who
To
knows?
be an effective coach,
I don't know.
look, yeah, to be an effective coach, you kind of have to know how to reach the player. Not everyone needs the tough love.
Yeah.
You may need a different approach. I think so. That would be the strike against Brian Flores, that he didn't know how to motivate the player, and using the Bill Belichick old school style didn't work. Like I said, that's why he's not coaching right now. Who is the most successful Bill Belichick disciple? Like all the coaches that came out of that tree, who is the most
Question.
successful?
There's been what? Bill
There's
O'Brien,
been a lot of them, right?
Scott Daniels, Charlie Weiss, Brian Flores. Nobody's won a Super Bowl or anything like that. So there's been a lot. That's a good one. I don't know. I think Josh McDaniels.
Trying to use coaching, trying to use the technology here.
Yeah.
So I mean, according to
hold on. What about before you say it? What about no, Rex Ryan wasn't part of that. No, Rex Ryan was different. I don't know. What's it say? I don't know.
Well, they're using ChatGPT is saying Nick Saban.
Well, where'd they coach together at? In college or something?
Yeah, it must be some college shit because I don't remember. But it's saying
the
most successful coach from the coaching tree is Nick. When did that happen?
Oh, you know what? Nick Saban probably coached with the Browns when he was there for a minute or something like that.
Would you consider that? I mean, I guess if you're under him,
to me they're peers, but I don't know. I guess technically that's probably right, but Browns, the Browns. Okay,
the Browns defensive coordinator under Bill Belichick, 1991 to 1994, 3 years.
Okay, then I think that's fair. That makes sense then.
I guess that's pretty good then. I mean, that's
3 years.
All right, never mind. Because then, all right. So next in the NFL is Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien, yeah.
Which he flamed the fuck out, and then Brian Flores, which didn't do much, and then Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Which again, it's not a whole
Probably,
lot. So
Rice has got to be on there somewhere. He I think he even went to like Notre Dame and coached in the NFL. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, you have to know how to reach people, whether you're coaching, supervising, how you could be more aggressive towards one person. It may not be the same for others.
Yeah.
And listen, not everyone, some people are sensitive.
Yeah.
Even those who think they're not sensitive are very sensitive. So as a coach, you got to be like a part-time psychologist. You have to kind of realize that. And maybe that's what Brian Flores tried to be, that militant style. With Softy Tour there with his little curly hair, he's like, you're breaking me down, bro. And then the next guy comes in and puts the arm around him. I mean, Colin Kaepernick. I think the reason why he did so well in the beginning because he had a coach that believed in him.
Yeah,
like you the shit. You're gonna figure this all out.
Yeah.
And when the guy left, he couldn't beat Blaine Gabbert for a job. So like it's really that I think trust is. I can hear someone curse me out and tell me, yo, you fucking up and you suck. You got to get your shit together. If I trust the person.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's trust, love, respect that you could take it. But when you hear that from someone you don't respect or trust, it's not good. It's the worst. It's and then also to the point where he's in his head talking about basically he believed it. Did he ever talk to each other, talk to him and say, hey man, you're breaking me down? I don't know. But
no, you bring up a good point. I think as a coach or a leader, I think the militant style can work. I believe in that tough love situation. I think you need it. I think Mike McDaniel might have known that Tua had a rough go with the Brian Flores. I'm sure he figures, and then maybe that's why he came in with the "you're my guy" because he's like, this is my quarterback, so I need to stand by him. And so far, they've had success, right?
Yeah.
They haven't won the Super Bowl, but they've had success. They made it to playoffs and all that, right? But I think. As a coach, you have to. One of my old bosses used to tell me this. Like he used to say, Pedro, you have to make deposits into people before you start withdrawing from them, right? And I think sometimes when you as a coach or a leader, you're trying to withdraw, but you don't have any deposits you've made in being, people aren't the average person is not just going to let you do that, right?
No, it doesn't work, especially when you really need to tell them something they need to hear that they may not want to hear, or they may not be ready to hear it. If you didn't put that time in and you just walking in like you're the shit, and I don't know if was that the one when he started coaching, he turned off some music. He didn't like certain rap music being played when during the practice or OTAs. I don't think it was the other guy. The other guy was actually letting people kind of be themselves.
Daniel's pretty progressive in that way. He's a player's coach. I don't know if Brian wasn't like, I don't know if he was the one that was like, no, we can't listen to this rap. I'm not sure, but it's interesting. I mean, one guy's approach is Mike McDaniels will probably be the coach for the Miami for a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they love him over there. And the other guy's a defensive coordinator now. He didn't last that long as a head coach. So obviously what Brian Flores was doing did not work. So, and you got a young quarterback. I'll say this, regardless if I'm a coach of Tua Tagovailoa and I don't think he's my guy, I don't want him, I think he's whatever, I'm not going to tell him that first year. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's other ways to do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's clearly one of the reasons Flores did not flourish in Miami, because Tua was going to be the guy there. It's not somebody else. And you got to have those guys synced. They got to be on the same page. Even if they don't agree that while they're on that page together, they got to at least have a little level of respect. If my coach is telling me, you suck, you're not even supposed to be here, you're trash, you're this, like, I mean, do I want to throw a football for that dude? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like,
and it could be correct. I mean, obviously, if you're not winning games, you're having a slow start. But yeah, I think Brian, you gotta learn those kind of lessons if you're trying to be a head coach, because you're gonna have the most important player on the team believe you,
yes,
and ready to ride for you. And if that doesn't work, then you're gonna be bouncing around. So, Giggity said, I put a few deposits into people. That's how I got a baby mama. So that's how it works usually.
That's usually how it works. How it works, man. You only got the one baby mama. I mean, you got.
Who knows, man? They'll come in, 15 years later, like, hey.
Giggity don't even know how many kids he got. That's bad, bro.
Listen,
too many.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bad, but this is funny. Also, Pedro is our WNBA Alice.
Oh, I can listen.
Is the Rookie of the Year locked?
Locked.
Is it going to be? Who's going to be?
It's Caitlin Clark. It's not even close at this point. I think she's run away with it. Her last 5 games, she's been the best player in the NBA statistically. So it's, unless she gets hurt, unless Angel Reese start dropping 30-point games, which probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think most other years Angel Reese would win, right? But I think Caitlin is going to win. There's a lot of people saying some of her stats aren't great. She's got a lot of turnovers and field goal percentage, but her team's going to make the playoffs. Angel Reese's teams probably won't. So, and I think about a month ago when we talked about this, that was my deciding factor. Was there's a lot of similarities. They're both really great, both deserving. But if the Fever are playing in the playoffs and they were the worst team last year, and Caitlin Clark is the number 1 pick, and now they're in the playoffs, Rookie of the Year, and her stats back it up. So I think if the Sky don't make the playoffs and the Fever do, it's Caitlin Clark. I think a lot of people will be upset about it. A lot of people will be happy. But she's been balling. She's a hooper, man. I watched the game the other night. The one girl, Diggins Smith or whatever, Sky Diggins.
Yeah, we thought about that. You think she was hating?
I mean, if you look at the camera, she's speeding her way up and puts her elbow into her. I mean, listen, it's basketball.
I don't mind that. I know a lot of people you got from one point everyone being overly sensitive to everything that happens to Caitlin Clark. This is supposed to happen.
It's fine.
At this point, I'm gonna say this, and it looks pretty obvious. I've seen some of the numbers. She's already probably the greatest point guard. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. She's already going to beat the rookie record by.
She already did.
A bunch of games left.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part of it is not she's just some dynamic scorer shooting a bunch of threes. Yeah, she can do that. The league is going to be forced to love this person.
Yeah.
Because she's looking to pass the ball. She's looking to get her teammates easy baskets.
And her teammates are catching up to her. Remember in the beginning of the
year? I agree. They are. Now they're getting it. Yeah.
they've got a really good chemistry on that team right now. And it's going to be interesting when the playoffs come because she's getting her teammates involved. She leads the league in assists per game, and she's scoring 17, 18. So, any night she could pop off for a 40-piece. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if she hits 7, 8 threes in the game, and then also with 10 assists. So that's a team you don't want to play. So to your point, the assists are there. So
I think that's what makes it such a dynamic player. Is not they're worried about, first of all, she could drive to the hoop. She can shoot from God knows how far. They don't know how to attack it. That leaves openings for everyone else.
Yep. And
she just plays ball and she doesn't talk shit and she doesn't necessarily care about all the marketing and the endorsements. They're already going to come already. They're going to be forced to acknowledge this is the savior of the WNBA. And I don't mind the extra stuff. Your best players, like Jordan was getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
When you're a really good player, you're not going to get, you think of the Jordan rules and maybe eventually, probably by next season, Caitlin may get more calls than she's getting.
She might.
Would that be a big deal? Probably. But if that's your golden goose, there's a reason why people give a shit about the WNBA now after 30 years of
nothing.
Yeah, you're going to protect her. And you kind of realize that when some of the girls go a little extra, that you hit them with some felony, flagrant twos out there and some felonies. Yeah, they'll bitch, but then may realize, hey, chill out with the extra stuff. But Tyler Diggins bumping into her, it just shows this rookie has got under everyone's skin because of how effective she has been already. So, and
she does talk trash.
And she talks trash. At least it's on the court, which that's how it's supposed to be. Like when Reese does it, it's like, come on, just play. Stop with
I like watching her play. She's fun to watch because she's good. She's very competitive. She's got that mentality. She's a dog, man.
Yeah.
I like watching Angel Reese play for different reasons. Skylar Diggins is a pro. She's been in the league like 10 years or something. So, we have a lot of these. We have a lot of good WNBA players right now in the league on various teams. Your New York Liberty have the best record in the WNBA when I looked last week. They've got Breanna Stewart, probably the second best player behind Asia Wilson. And then they got Sabrina Ionescu. Probably she's in the top 5. They got top 10. They got 2 top 10 players in the league on that team. The Liberty are something to be dealt with. The Aces were the defending champion back-to-back. They've a little bit down this year. The playoffs are going to be interesting. If the Fever win a playoff series, it's going to be people are going to be watching. And if the Fever were to make it, I think it's kind of a long shot, but if they were to make it to the finals and play the Aces, that would be the best scenario for the WNBA. The viewership on that would double what we just saw with the men. It would double it. The viewership, if it was Aces and the Fever, the viewership would be off the chain. And the tickets would be crazy. It'd be good for the game. So
tickets are crazy already.
Yeah.
Before we even knew that she was, what was going on, I'm like, damn, these tickets are kind of expensive. This was NBA tickets, but
yeah, it's nuts, man. We'll see. I think she's definitely going to win the Rookie of the Year, and it's good for the game. I think the haters are just hating because they didn't get it the way they wanted. And I think a lot of people think she's getting privilege or she's getting a special attention, but she's good. She's backing it up. So if you're backing it up with your play and you're going to lead your team to the playoffs, the haters got to just chill, man. Like, she's playing good. She's playing good ball. She's gotten better as the year's gone along. And her team's gotten better because she's gotten better. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. That's my expert take on the WNBA on a Wednesday night.
Thank you, WNBA expert Pedro. Appreciate that. Giggity also, when he made his deposits, he forgot to withdraw. I don't know what that necessarily means, but
cool. And that's why he's got kids. He forgot to withdraw.
Ew, man. Anyway. All right, guys. On that note, we'll be back in a couple of days. Talking more sports and more. We got political Pedro. We got NFL. He has a lot of hats. I don't know what I do. I just show up and talk.
Listen,
that's what I like to do.
You have the Tiffany Henyard hat.
Yeah. When you want to talk about that shit, I could talk about that. But
that on lock. All
Yeah,
right.
the fun stuff is Pedro got that. But on that note, guys, appreciate you for hanging out with us on this Wednesday evening, and we'll see you on Monday. Peace out.
Go Bears. Go Bears.
Yeah, whatever.